person that you are, the version of who you are, you can change to whatever you want it to be. And, I'm waiting for the day that someone's going to pop up on the lifeboat and go, I was in prison with a dude who looked so much like you, right? Because they're definitely not going to recognize me, to listen to me, or just even the attitude, I'm so different than the person I was when I started my prison rib. Go ahead.
And the interesting thing is, I've done everything you've done, and I don't have the stigma of having to serve time, you know what I mean? But other than that, every label I got. And one thing that I learned is building trust back with people people you care about. With me, it was really simple. It was when your actions match your words, consistent over time. Because as a guy my words are always great. I don't care what I was on or how bad it was. My words are always on point.
Oh, no trouble with the words.
But my actions didn't match my words. And when your actions match your words consistently over time, then people start seeing you for what you are. You don't have to, because here's the truth of it. There are some people that are not going to see me as anything but rigs. That'll kick a guy's door down at noon. The stupid things that I did, some people are only going to see me that way. And I can't do anything about that. All I can do is control how I am and how I attack every day.
How did you stay out of from getting in trouble like Tommy ended up? Because I know you guys are together a lot.
I don't know.
I'm sorry if I asked
No. It's a good question. There's in talking about this, I was on the phone with Tommy. I'm like, here's the thing. It's a delicate thing because I don't want to ever glorify any of the things that I did, because there's no glory in any of it. It's garbage and horrible and seedy and dirty and filthy, and there's nothing glorious about it. But I don't know how I dodged the bullets I dodged. I mean, I wrote a book about it. How long ago, Tommy? 25 years ago.
Uh-huh.
And I could have written 2 more books after that one ended. It got 10 times worse, and I thought that book was heavy duty. So I just God smiled at me. Maybe that I wouldn't have done as well in jail, and maybe God spared me. I don't know how else to explain it, but I'm telling you, for everything that the only thing different between Tommy and I is I didn't walk into a bank and take out a withdrawal that didn't belong. It wasn't in my account.
Honestly, do you want to know why? I mean, I can answer this question.
I wasn't with you.
No, I mean, when he says, here's what happened. There was a period. There was a period of time in our life where we were breaking the law in a pretty big way, and it would be Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, no joke. And the day that there was a task force waiting to get us was my Monday. And that's really what it boiled down to. If that task force had waited 30 hours, it would have been you.
Wow.
And that's really what it came down to. I mean, I got tackled and taken to the ground, and you were not far behind, right? If it had been any other day.
But there are times, that was bad. But I'm not even going to it now. Maybe we'll do this at a different.
We could do a whole show on close calls.
Yeah, I think of one in particular.
In a blue Capri.
That if one of those 6 police officers had their act together, nobody would have ever met me. Nobody would have ever met you. We would have just been 2 guys rotting away in jail for at least a 40 piece.
I was actually getting ready to say that. If you think about this on the back end of it, Chase the Heat never would have happened unless it went down the way that it did. And none of us would be here right now talking to each other.
No, and I feel so fortunate. Like every day I get up, it's like, miracles happen. I'm a walking miracle. Not the fact that I'm still here, I'm not incarcerated, but I'm of clear mind right now, and I could pass a P test for anybody. And look, what Tommy's doing right now, it's like, if you don't see it as part of the master plan, this is why we're still around.
Well, this is interesting too. When you really, like I spend a decent amount of time these days in meditation, and I really try to sort of focus on the big picture stuff. I walked into prison, right? Rock, my nickname that I had, and I sort of walked in there. This dude Rock, and there was this image of the person that I had put out, and I'd hit you with a baseball bat and take your dope, right? Like I was not a good person. And when I walked out of prison, like you had built something that I kind of like stumbled into, you know what I mean? And the whole time I was in there, I had somebody saying to me, you can change everything about who you are. You can do whatever you want, but you got to list who you want to be. And so right about the time I'm coming out into the world, I went from the most hated person on the planet, right, to somebody that instantly was like, hey, you're Johnny's brother, right? And it was bizarre because
that must have been weird.
It was, I cannot begin to tell you the shock. Honestly, I mean, just shock.
Because if you had a choice, like when you went in, if they said, okay, and when you get out, Johnny's going to be really in a bad way, or he's going to be someone famous doing a good thing, you wouldn't have picked this one.
Oh no. I would have thought that you'd have been dead. And I'm not trying to be a downer or anything else, but there will be an episode where we really get into that. But I honestly assumed, and I prayed every day, but I really thought you weren't going to make it, with trying to do it. I just assumed you were going to keep doing everything I was doing. And it just, thank God.
I think there's something too. Quitting a drug that's not your drug of choice ain't like quitting a drug that's your drug of choice. It's two different animals completely. I mean, the addiction is the addiction, but the one that was your drug of choice is the one that you have a love for, that you don't want to give up.
I did that with alcohol.
Giving up dope and all the other drugs I was on, I didn't want to be on any of them. They were easy to give up. But giving up weed was, in an honest, very, very real way, it was harder than giving up heroin.
I bet.
Johnny Scoville, it's a phony made-up fucking name. I'm gonna make a hot sauce. I'm gonna put his name, the fucking Johnny Scoville on. I'm gonna put his fucking picture, and I'm gonna sell it. And there's not a goddamn fucking thing he's gonna do to me. Not a goddamn fucking thing you're gonna do to me. It's a phony made-up name. Call yourself Superman or Tinkerbell or Sugar Tank or whatever, you fucking putz. I hate both of you. Fucking miserable cocksuckers. You caused a divide in this chili community. You fucking humps. Dirty fucking cocksucker. Both of you. You ought to be ashamed.